In today's video, I'm doing an unboxing and sound test of the Comica CVM-V02 XLR lavalier microphone. Hi, this is Andrew from T is for Tech, and today we're taking a look at the Comica CVM-V02 XLR lavalier microphone. And this is the second Comica microphone that I've reviewed on the channel. I'll link to a video for the other one that I did a couple weeks back, I guess. And this one is an XLR microphone, whereas the other one was a microphone that needed just a 3.5 millimeter plug, common with smartphones and other sorts of camera interfaces. This one requires an XLR connection and phantom power. So it says that it requires 48 volts of phantom power. I've read some other reviews and saw some other notes that said that worked with 12 volts of phantom power. So we'll take a look here and check that out in a little bit. But this is a omnidirectional microphone. Fairly straightforward, similar to other sorts of XLR-based lavaliers that you may have seen. So it has the XLR 3-pin connector, the big size one, not the mini. I know there's some mini connectors. This is the normal, regular XLR connector. It says it has low distortion, wide dynamic range. Has a frequency range of 100 hertz to 12 kilohertz, which actually is a little low on the high end as compared to some other microphones that I've reviewed specs on and all of that. So we'll have to see what it sounds like. Probably for things such as YouTube or other sorts of podcasting, that's probably more than adequate on the treble side of the equation on the high end. So we'll have to take a look at that. Talks about the signal to noise ratio, sensitivity, and all that. I'll link in the description some more of the information about this, and also the link to the actual product on Amazon. It does have a 5.9, so you want to call it 6-foot silicone wire cable, or silicone-based cable. So we'll also take a look at that and see, kind of what that feels like. That's a good length of cable from the connector to the actual microphone. So we're going to do an unboxing with this and just do an audio test and compare it to, I'm not going to compare it to the other Comica microphone that I did before, but like that one, I'm going to compare it to the Rode SmartLav, which is what you're actually listening to right now. So I'm using the Rode SmartLav Plus on the Zoom H6 handy recorder. And so we'll connect that to the Zoom in a second, this one to the Zoom in a second once we get that far. So anyways, let's take a quick look at this. Just comes in a little case, a little box. And let's see what we have here. So warranty card, a little bit of information on the warranty. There's a 12-month warranty. Some information there. And then basically you just have the microphone. So if we open this up, so you have a little wind muff, dead cat, cat paw, whatever you want to call it, sort of thing here for the microphone. So that's actually kind of nice. You usually don't see this sort of thing included with some of these lower priced lavaliers, and actually even the higher priced lavaliers don't usually include something like this. The Sony microphone that I have, and I spent $150 on, and you don't get this. So that's kind of nice. And then you basically just have the microphone itself. Get it out of there. Yeah, so this is metal. So usually all the XLO connectors that I've seen have all been metal. So that's not a surprise. But then the other side of this is also metal, and that's something that is nice. This is machined aluminum metal mic capsule, and it has the little, obviously, alligator clip here, as you can see. There's the mic capsule when it's like kind of disconnected, and it is metal, so that is nice. Often you'll find on some of these lower priced microphones, usually there's a lot of plastic parts and all of that in this, and this feels really well made. Like I said, all metal construction. I'm assuming some sort of aluminum alloy. At least that's what it feels like. So you have a pretty long cable. Like I said, it says it's 6 feet. But it's kind of nice, and it's a silicone, right? So it's not, it feels flexible, kind of grippy kind of feel to it. If you've had a good silicone watch band or something like that on like an Apple device, it kind of feels like that silicone. So here's the mic again, the capsule. So what I'm going to do is just do a little bit of a test to start with, a comparison against the Rode SmartLav, because on the SmartLav I do have the little foam, the foam thing on that. So I'll test this out. So what I'll do is I'll start with the foam pop filter on, to compare the sound to the Rode SmartLav, and then from there I'll take this off and I'll put the dead cat on, and then kind of just go from there. So here's my Zoom H6. As you can see, the Rode SmartLav is plugged into this external microphone input, because that's where the 3.5 millimeter connector is on that. And I have this at about a gain of 8 on there, and so I'll plug this into the first. Okay, so now I have both of the microphones plugged in, and I'm assuming this is going to work at the 48 volts, but I did set it to the 12 volt phantom power on the Zoom H6. So we'll see right there kind of how that works. So I'm not going to try it on the 48 volt because I'm sure it'll work if it works on the 12. Yeah, so anyways, and so I do notice kind of straight away that on the Rode SmartLav, I need it at an input level of 8 on here. So this is set at a level 8. And then with the Comica or Comica, I don't know if I'm saying it right, Comica. With that, I actually have it set on a little bit over a 5 on the gain setting. So to me, it seems like the signal coming out of that, the Comica, is a little bit hotter than the signal coming out of the Rode SmartLav, just based on the input levels and what I see here on the display on the Zoom. So right now they're about the same, or they're peaking about the same. And the Comica is set at a 5, maybe 5 1/4, and the other is set, the Rode SmartLav is set at an 8. So here, so that's what it sounds like. So if I'm talking on the post production, I'm gonna kind of, go back and forth between the two in a couple different settings here. So, hi, this is Andrew from T is for Tech. Hi, this is Andrew from T is for Tech. All right, so on one of those, it was the Rode Smart Lav, and the other was the Comica. So yeah, so now I guess I will just turn off the Rode Smart Lav. So the rest of this video will be with the Comica itself. So, yeah, so that's that. So what I'll do, now I guess I'll just leave this plugged in and I'll just kind of edit it out later. So this is with the foam muff on, or the foam pop filter on. So now this, so I just took that off. So this is the pop filter, and now there's no filter on, right? So this is just the bare mic capsule itself. And so that's kind of what this sounds like. Hi, this is Andrew from T is for Tech. This is the Comica lavalier microphone without the pop filter. And now I will put this guy on. So now this is the microphone with the Dead Cat wind muff on it. Obviously, it's probably not going to sound much different. I'm not in the wind. I'm in my basement, so there's no wind. But that's kind of what the sound sounds like, just with that with the Dead Cat on it. So yeah. So that's basically it. So hopefully this is a good example of the sound of the Comica CVM-V02 XLR Lavalier microphone. I'm going to jump over to the computer and kind of give my thoughts on the tail end of this review after I listen to the sound. So after I listen to this, I will tell you what I think. So when taking a listen to the audio, when I was doing the editing here, a couple things stood out in that I think that the Comica lavalier didn't have as much high-end treble response as the Rode Smart Lav did. And so the Rode Smart Lav kind of has that more tinny kind of sounding, at least with my voice, that's what I hear, kind of more of like the higher treble bits of that voice and not as much as the lower end. And I kind of prefer the lower, more bassy type of response that the Comica provided, actually. So for my preferences, I actually like the sound of the Comica more so than the sound of the Rode Smart Lav, just kind of out of the box. Now, the thing is, you can obviously tweak those using the equalizer in Premiere or whatever other audio editor that you might be using. So, you really, it's kind of like a wash, I guess. I just kind of like basically the Comica out of the box sound a little bit better. And that was the same with their SIGLAV microphone that I reviewed before. I preferred the response and the sound of that over the Rode. So this basically matches up with that, just in an XLR format. But don't get me wrong. The Comica does have a smaller frequency range response than the Rode, right? So again, and I'm not doing a direct comparison here, it's just one thing I noticed is that frequency response range was a little bit smaller than the Rode microphone. So as you go up in price, microphones tend to have a more broad dynamic range. So just finishing this up, overall I was very impressed with this, along with the other Comica microphone that I reviewed in the past. They seem like very solid microphones for the price, really, right? You're talking around and below $40, and I think that's a really good performance to value ratio that you get with these types of microphones. And if I had to summarize my thoughts really quickly, I would say that this has pretty great build quality. It's all metal, machined aluminum. There's a good sound response, you know, with the caveat of what I said about the frequency response earlier. It sounds good. I really like it. I love the included pop filter and the dead cat, which is nice. And it has a really nice long cord. And so if you're in the market for an XLR microphone, lavalier, I definitely would take a look at this. So Amazon link in the description. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. This is Andrew from TS for Tech, and I'll see you next time.